Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, Granite Staters hope to win big as Mega Millions reaches 667 million. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer.
Across New Hampshire and the country, lottery machines are churning out tickets for tonight's estimated $654 million Mega Millions jackpot.
Tough odds, but I'm hoping.
In fact, you're more likely to be struck by lightning than win the lottery. But people hoping that lightning would strike twice in the same spot were heading to Merrimack. Back in January, the Reed's Ferry Market sold a winning Powerball ticket worth nearly $560 million.
It's going to be crazy later on today, too. And it's been crazy all morning.
Even those who normally don't play get tempted when the jackpot gets this big. And there's the news crew asking questions about the jackpot.
Oh, it just gave me a funny feeling when you said that, so I figured I'd try it.
Well, good luck to you. You going to cut us in if you win?
Oh, of course. I cut everybody in.
Bunny's Superette in Manchester is also known as a place for selling winning tickets. For some, it's all about their lucky numbers.
Today it's all birthdays, all 5 games, and then I'll get a couple of quick picks.
If he wins, Young says he'll take care of his family, and spending all that money won't be a problem.
Because I have a large family. Okay, so everybody's going to have turkey all year long.
I'd have a house at the beach and one in the mountain, get a new car, pay off some bills.
Well, if you don't win tonight, there's not a bad consolation prize tomorrow. The Powerball jackpot worth $345 million. And just in case you're wondering, the odds of winning both, 1 in 88 quadrillion. That's 15 zeros. Reporting live in Manchester, Ray Brewer, WMUR News Now.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Go and get your tickets and try to win the big Mega Millions game. Ambulances called after school transportation van crashes in Lowell. Multiple ambulances were called to the scene of a crash involving a school transportation van in Lowell Tuesday afternoon. One child was flown by helicopter to a hospital with serious injuries, the fire department said. Authorities said the crash happened around 3:30 p.m. at the intersection of Bridge Street and 12th Street. Police are asking people to avoid the area to allow accident reconstruction teams to work. The Lowell Sun reports there were children on board the school van. Initial reports from the scene indicated the medical helicopter was called for a 7-year-old who suffered serious abdominal injuries. No additional information was immediately available. We will keep you updated if we get any new information into our newsroom. High winds knock out power for tens of thousands of Mainers. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
I want you to keep your elbows straight.
CPR has changed. Bystanders no longer have to worry about mouth-to-mouth or checking for a pulse. Not only were thousands of CMP customers waking up without power this morning, but class was actually affected for some students after those high winds last night. Sebago Elementary School is closed today because they don't have power, and that's just one of a few schools affected. Some schools in Cumberland and Oxford counties were delayed or closed because they lost power. At one point this morning, more than 60,000 customers were without it. CMP crews were out in Sebago when the sun came up, working to restore power to those neighborhoods and searching for any trees that had knocked down power lines. The storm also left debris all over the roadway in some spots. The weather caused a bit of a mess for those crews and drivers, but for the Sebago couple, they say it's just a typical fall day in Maine. And you didn't really hear anything last night?
No, we didn't hear anything. Our house is well insulated, though, so. I saw Spectrum go by, and I saw Central Maine Power go by, so I was like, get to it.
Route 107 in Baldwin was closed during the morning commute for a tree that had fallen on a power line. Crews were called in to break it up before CMP could get to work on those lines. And while this wasn't considered a large storm, CMP crews here tell me that it's going to be a long day for them. They say that this work could actually continue into tomorrow. In Baldwin, Kathleen Jordan, WMTW News 8.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how U.S. stock market closed for this Tuesday evening. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you right now. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green and went up. Your Nasdaq closed in the green and went up. S&P 500 closed in the green and went up. Gold closed in the red and went down. Oil closed in the green and went up. U.S. 10-year closed flat. Euro/USD closed flat. And VIX closed in the red and went down. Dow jumps more than 500 points, post best day since March as earnings fuel rally. Stocks rose sharply on Tuesday after the release of strong quarterly results from some of the largest U.S. companies helped the market recover from last week's sell-off. Trump, Saudi Crown Prince Total denied any knowledge of Jamal Khashoggi's fate. Let's take a listen to the video from ABC News.
Every child needs clothing to wear, and we discovered we can really help people with disabilities just by doing a few things differently with our Cat and Jack clothing. The really great part about working on this type of product is meeting the families.
I just hugged her. I just had to hug her and tell her how important this is. Thanks to the Cat and Jack adaptive line, Bentley just gets to be a kid for once.
President Trump, for the second time in as many days, is siding with the Saudi royals who claim they had no involvement in the disappearance and apparent murder of a Washington Post journalist in Istanbul. Just a short time ago, the president tweeted that he spoke with the Saudi prince who, quote, totally denied any knowledge of what took place in their Turkish consulate, end quote. Turkish officials say Jamal Khashoggi was lured into the Saudi consulate, tortured, and then murdered. There are reports that Saudi government is preparing to admit that Khashoggi died during an interrogation that went too far.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow with more newscasts. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night, everyone. Bye.